It's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and start tackling your own to-do list. Welcome to the Just Ask Bob show. I am your host, Bob Assadourian. Today's our 10th episode. I want to take a moment to thank the viewers. Heartfelt thank from Bob to everybody that watched the show. We really appreciate that you followed us, and we hope that you have learned how to maintain your home. Today in episode 10, we're visiting 3 different job sites to walk around the properties to show you how to properly winterize your home. What to look for, what needs to be caulked and sealed and worked on before the winter snow arrives. Best time to do this is in the spring. Now, 2 possibilities. A, you're going to be doing the work yourself. That's fine. The only problem is your own procrastination. So that's the only thing that may hold you back. Possibility B is that you're going to be hiring a contractor. Hopefully, a licensed, legitimate contractor. If that's the case, you do need to start in the spring because timing and scheduling is going to be the only issue. This happens every year. I've been doing this for 16 years. Every year that I can think of, April, May, June, those estimates I put out for caulking, sealing, doors, windows, eavesdrops, gutters, downspouts, those people, I submit the estimates, and then by the time they get a hold of me and say, let's do it, Bob, it's typically already getting into October. By that point, any legitimate licensed good contractor has a schedule in front of him, and he's usually booked right till Christmas time. So please, don't procrastinate, whether it's getting the contractor hired or whether it's doing the work yourself. Now, a moment ago, you seen the door come down, crunched me on the chest here. Let's explain what the reasoning for that was. There's a lot of safety and a lot of maintenance involved in the garage doors. What we have here is the sensor. Now, whether it's the sensor or whether it's the instruction manual, too many homeowners throw these away. Now, whether it's yourself that's installed the garage door or you've hired a contractor, this manual remains with the owner. Read it. There's adjustments. There's provisions. These sensors have a variety of settings and adjustments. It's critically important. This door came down and applied just enough pressure to my ribs, then it lifted itself back up. If the sensor was faulty, it could have broke my ribs. If the sensor was faulty, that could have been a child under there. That could have been anybody. You know, the pressure is adjustable. You have to make sure these things are always adjusted and set. Now let's take a look around the home and look at some items here. This probably is one of the most common items in Hamilton. Up top, if you want to have a look, I've got the, if you follow the light there, this is the exhaust termination for a bathroom exhaust fan. Now that's supposed to have 3 flaps on it. There's flap 1. The other 2 are missing. That's an item of maintenance because the snow, the wind, the rain, the sleet, everything's going to blow in there, and that leads into your home. So these are easy to fix. You know, caulking. You want to inspect the caulking all around your doors and windows. This particular caulking is fine. Now, this home here is approximately 10 years old. So this is modern new home construction. All the windows are vinyl clad, brick exterior, stucco in some spots, aluminum soffit and fascia capping over the wood. So there's really not that much to maintain on new homes. However, for some reason throughout Ontario, the jamming for the garage door, this is always left in wood. This weather stripping has screws. This can come off, and then you get somebody in that's experienced contractor with aluminum capping. They can cap this. So this will be protected. Once there's aluminum capping on it, you don't have to worry about it. Because if you take a moment to look down, this is where the damage begins, at ground level. This is where the rot's going to start to form. So at least for this particular home, not a bad idea to cap this, and now you've eliminated any exposed wood on the home. If we walk over to this side and we take a look at hose bibs, if you follow us on our website, we have done Cable 14 programs on these hose bibs. This is just amazing. This is a frost-free unit. You want to make sure before the winter arrives, nothing's leaking. This operates by a quarter turn. Quarter turn on, quarter turn off. It's that easy. Beautiful unit. it shuts itself off on the interior warm side of the basement. This does not have to be shut off seasonally before the winter arrives. Now take another look at the caulking here. It's coming apart. This is an asphalt-based caulking. This should be sealed all the way across. Very important to protect this texture, designer finish here, and also to protect water from entering the basement. Really important that these items are always caulked. Now this window's got nice caulking. You can see it's a nice seal. It's not separating from the brick or from the vinyl jamb. While we're in this area, let me take a moment to talk about the mortar joints. You've seen us on past episodes last season where we did tuck pointing. This is how you want your joints, nice and tight. You want a good bond underneath the sills. This is very, very important. I can't stress this enough before winter arrives. When these joints are missing, cracked or loose, you will get the snow, the slush, the rain in there. Overnight, when the temperature drops, it's going to expand, it's going to freeze. You could lose the face of the brick, you can get mold, you can get water penetration inside the home. It can cause a lot of issues. So again, it's a must that you walk around your home, you examine everything. Let's take a moment to talk about swales, to talk about grading. This particular landscape here, for new home construction at least, they did it right. There's a defined space, otherwise known as the tunnels, between the homes. They're not always identical in spacing depending on the lot lines. So on this section, we have nice aggregate concrete. Over here, we've got river rocks with stepping stones. The swale must form a shape like this. The water will pour here, the water will pour there, and the water must exit. Now, not every swale is created equally. Sometimes homeowners add concrete, other times they add earth. You have to make sure that the water is always controlled. The water must move away from the foundation, and it must have a low spot at the end. Now, let's talk about cracks in the foundation. This was a crack. They've used expanding foam. That's not how you repair it. We've done other shows in the past where you have to chip out the crack and either inject it with an epoxy urethane or fill it with some type of masonry sealer. Let's show you another crack here. Now this is obviously from impact. When they're building the homes, the machinery they use, the bobcats as they're tunneling here, something hit here. So very important, this empty void and the crack are addressed and fixed properly. Now we have a fantastic chance here to show you about downspouts. We have the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. Here's the downspout, bringing the water down from the lower roof and from the upper roof. It leads into what's called a splash block, keeping the water away from the foundation. So the water is going to flow, get into the low spot of the swale, and exit to the front. Now this downspout here, it comes down and it ends. All this water is pooling and pooling, and let's see where it goes. Well, we've got a small hint here, and everything's about detective work. It's obviously going into the wrong spot. It's causing erosion, it's damaging the driveway, and we have a stress crack. Now, when this pools up with water and turns to ice, the expansion can eventually pop this whole corner of the foundation off. That's why it's absolutely imperative that your grading be correct and that you seal and address all cracks before the winter. Now, if you want to focus on a roof, we've got a roof to show you here. Yes, we're including a roof or some tips on a roof in today's show. This is the wrong way to repair a roof. I hope this guy wasn't a licensed, legitimate contractor, but he simply came in after a heavy windstorm and he added surface nails, dozens and dozens of surface nails on top of the shingles, and he didn't caulk them. As you can see, the nail heads are all exposed. Every single nail head is a potential leak. If you don't have the intelligence or the skill level to lift the shingles and tuck under and do it properly, at least have some black roofing tar with you to cover over every single nail head. Up next, we have another job site to visit, another Hamilton home at an opposite extreme. The one we've just showcased is approximately 10 years old. The one we're going to visit is a half a century old. We'll be right back.
If you are ready to play, we are ready to pay. Kiwanis TV Bingo is coming your way. Pick up those $3 bingo cards at any one of almost 200 vendors around the Hamilton community. Tune into Cable 14 on Monday nights at 7 p.m. and win cash. Over $150,000 up for grabs this season. You won't want to miss it. Break a dabber.
Emergency alerts of life-threatening events help keep us safe. That's why governments and broadcasters have come together to bring more alerts to more Canadians faster. Introducing Alert Ready, Canada's new emergency alert system. When an alert is broadcast, it's time to act. Learn more at alertready.ca.
Welcome back to the Just Ask Bob show. We've just left the subdivision, which we kicked off the show. Now we're in older Hamilton, where the homes may be old, but they've got strong bones. These homes are built very well. This was actually a project for us last year where we installed vinyl siding to the entire home, updated some of the windows. Now we're back again, hard at work on the sunroom. There's many of these in Hamilton. They call them mud rooms, sunrooms. Bob doesn't like the word mud, so for all intents and purposes, this is our sunroom project. As you can see, we've installed wooden strapping, 16-inch centers or better. We're going to be ripping out the windows. We're going to be installing matching siding to make this sunroom look beautiful. Now, I couldn't resist. I had to bring the Cable 14 cameras back here because this is just hilarious. I have the absolute perfect opportunity here to show you how not to add an exterior outlet. Now, quick glance, you see black rubber. That's actually a weatherproof cover for the outlet. Now, believe me when I say it. Please, Hamilton, that is not how you do it. That is not how you do it. Very cute how they put the black cover on. This is the proper way. Our electrician is going to be arriving at some point. He's going to be pulling this off. He's going to be wiring a brand new one right from the panel to the front face of the sunroom, facing the backyard, which can be used for a lawnmower, can be used for anything the homeowner needs, and a nice LED light on the front. Now, I have to take a moment to pull out the license and show you. You know, we're not using too many tools on today's show, but here's the most important tool I own and the one I worked the hardest for. City of Hamilton Master Building Repair License, which is absolutely critical. Our municipality does a justice for the homeowners via their property taxes and their hard-earned money that they use to purchase these homes and spend on them to maintain them. Not every municipality has a contractor's license. Hamilton does. That's extremely important. That means we're vetted, we're tested, and we're screened. Approximately 2-hour examination, Section 9 on the Ontario Building Code. Before even writing the exam, we show up with a valid, updated police clearance. That's important. That eliminates the riffraff from potentially working on your home. City also checks annually that we've got our liability insurance in place, and as a must, if we have employees, we carry WSIB. That's Workplace Safety Insurance Board coverage. A proper licensed contractor, such as myself, will bring in a licensed master electrical contractor to install something like that correctly. That is a potential fire hazard and a potential risk of life for anybody using it. That's not how it's done. Now, speaking of that's not how it's done, spray foam, very, very, very excessive. Let's take a moment to discuss this. You know, when this stuff came out about a decade and a half ago or so, it was originally for doors and windows. Homeowners would learn quickly what happens when you spray too much of it. Now, the spray foam, as you can see here, when it's exposed to UV light, it starts to darken. When you cut it open, it's fresh. So spray foam is meant to be covered. You can install it around the perimeter of your window, the perimeter of your doors, the proper one, low expansion, and it's going to be nice, and then it's covered with either wood brick mold, trim, or aluminum capping. It is not by any means meant to seal the gap between concrete. Obviously, we've talked about grading issues. This is brutal. After a heavy rainfall, this whole area is full of water. The water's against the foundation. We talked about joints before the break. That needs to be repaired. Now, the wrong way to repair it is just to take mortar mix, apply it, and smooth it. You're only getting in about 1/8 of an inch. That's not correct. You must remove the joint, mason's chisel, and a hammer. Season 4, the Just Ask Bob show. Follow us on past seasons. We've taught you how to cut that out, chip it out, and fill it. So that's a separation. Here we have another problem, lack of penetration. This is the correct penetration. That cavity is a lack of penetration. Now the water will pool here. It will make its way under the foundation. This is just a sunroom, but it can still damage the blocks. In the case over here, as the water makes its way over, it will damage the foundation itself. So again, this has to be pulled up, jackhammered out, and then done properly. Now, just as the sign says, watch your steps, please. Is there a please in there? No. Please always watch your steps. Good thing for the homeowner putting up the note. Now, these steps have seen better days. They had the flagstone finish on top. Everything was coming loose. We tried to do our best as a restoration. We pulled off the flagstone to see the condition. Unfortunately, these cannot be salvaged. The footing down below has shifted or cracked, so the steps are moving. This is slated for removal completely. Now, that isn't always the case. There's many, many Hamilton homes where whatever material your steps are made out of, it is a matter of that one shot, that one last chance of availability to do some minor tuck pointing or some parging and concrete repairs to breathe life into the steps, and it will save you thousands of dollars. The steps may last another 5 to 10 years or longer. Now, if you don't do that, it could make the difference of just one more winter with the frost and the heave, and you're going to have the expense of $5,000 to $10,000 to have to replace them. So please, everything's about maintenance. What I'm trying to show you on today's episode, whether it's parging or tuck pointing brick walls or breathing life into older steps, controlling the drainage from your eaves troughs or downspouts, caulking your windows and doors, filling in the nail heads over top of your shingles. Don't ask me why the nail heads were exposed to begin with, but for whatever reason, maintenance is important. Maintenance can save you thousands upon thousands of dollars in your home. Please think smart. After break, we're going to visit yet another job site.
What is Rotary? We're a network of people like you. In fact, we're the original social network. More than 1 million of us live just about everywhere you can think of. We get together to exchange ideas, grow our businesses, and make new friends. We volunteer to help our own communities or someone else's. We're right around the corner. Come join us. The name is Rotary International. You're welcome.
Welcome back, Hamilton, to the final stage of our home maintenance show. Couldn't resist yet another porch. As you can see, she's crumbling pretty badly. This is supported by bricks, or it was supported by bricks. Some time ago, somebody had added parging. You can see this is in pretty bad condition. Now, whether this porch is salvageable or not, I honestly haven't determined yet. I'm going to be having a chat with the homeowner. I mean, obviously, it's the steps aren't in as bad condition as the supporting sidewalls are. The top is flagstone. Again, the flagstone, it's seen better days, but it's still not in bad condition. It can be tuck pointed. What I'd have to do is do some excavating around the two sides of this corner, excavate the opposite two sides, and get an idea on how the structure's holding up below the grade. That's what's important. However, something should be done with this. This should be addressed before the winter. If it's to be salvaged, if it won't be salvaged, fine. Address it in the springtime. It just depends. Again, if you want to focus in on that, that's just amazing. When brick's trapped like that and moisture goes at it, it really, really ends up crumbling apart. This should have had the parging removed and some maintenance done years ago. And possibly at that point, there would have been a much, much stronger chance at it being salvaged. Even here, just amazing, all the spider webbing. completely hollow, all different air pockets. I'm happy to introduce one of Triple R's finest, Andy Garcia, one of our finest employees up on the ladder. What we're trying to show you now is an item of great importance: clogged eaves troughs and clogged downspouts. There's been many of homeowners that have spent tens of thousands of dollars excavating, trenching all around the home to have Delta wrap and weeping tiles replaced when the whole problem was the eaves troughs. When the troughs leak during torrential downpours, guess where the water's going? Right here. And it'll make its way down to the footing and into the basement. So what we're going to do now with Andy here, this home, we already know that sometimes for a half a day later after an overnight downpour, the eaves trough seems to hold water. Andy, how's the trough look inside?
Clogged.
Clogged? Really bad?
Pretty bad.
Okay, well, I already popped the rivets the other day out of that elbow. Be careful, it might splash on you. Disconnect the elbow, give it a good pull. Let's see what happens. Pull it to the left a bit if you can so the viewers can see. Disconnect it completely. Have a look inside. How bad is it? Pull fish out whatever you can. Wow. That's a lot of crap you don't want in your eaves troughs. Again, whether it's the homeowner or whether you hire a licensed contractor. I don't care who does it. Clean the troughs multiple times a year, depending on the surroundings. You have a lot of branches, a lot of overgrown trees, or is there nothing around, or is there a lot in your neighboring property? The downspouts in the eaves troughs should be clear so everything can flow through and everything can flow down. Is there a strainer on this job, Andy?
Yeah.
Want to pull it out and show it to the viewers? A lot of times people install strainers. Absolute junk. They're useless unless you go up there and you actually clean them out. I found one home, every 3 months the strainer was clogging. So as opposed to going up every 3 months, you could probably go up once a year, disconnect an elbow, clean it out completely, and be done with it. This is imperative that you get it done probably, I'd say, anywhere between, September, October, even into late November before the winter, and then have a look at it again late spring or midsummer. Again, depending on what the vegetation is. Up next, Bob's Bewares and Bob's Top Picks.
You consider yourself a good citizen, a good employee, and courteous person. But when you get behind the wheel, you become a maniac, hogging the road, saying and doing things you would never do without the protection of your vehicle. You tell yourself you're a good driver. You just like to go fast.
In 2017, there were 1,681 collisions that involved injuries and 16 fatalities in Hamilton. Speed kills. Slow down. Driving is a privilege, not a right.
A message from the City of Hamilton.
1, 2. Good rhythm back and forth. Hey, Taylor, I think you might need this.
Thanks.
Rebound. Scores! Taylor Hall!
Welcome back, Hamilton. I hope you've enjoyed our special on home maintenance, pre-winter maintenance. We have toured you through 3 homes, different areas of the city, right from the suburbs, right from Old Hamilton. What do they all have in common? Doesn't matter how new or how old your home is. Every home needs preventive maintenance. Every dollar you spend on preventive maintenance can potentially save you thousands of dollars. Maintenance is easy. Most of the items we showed you on the home, with the exception of the roofing, can easily be tackled by the homeowner. Even the roofing if you're comfortable. Again, pitch a ladder if you're okay with heights. Try to climb up there. If you're not comfortable, hire a licensed roofing contractor, period. There's never a need to get hurt while working on your own home. Now, once again, I have to mention this because as a contractor for 16 years, it all kicks in April. April, May, calls, emails. Everybody wants quotes on maintenance, doors, windows, eaves troughs, downspouts, caulking, brick pointing, tuck pointing. Doesn't matter. I do my job. I show up on time, submit the email on time, and then I'm done. I file it away. If the people are smart and they truly want to hire me, they'll contact me within a short, reasonable amount of time. That's not always the case. Most Hamiltonians, not just myself, but they'll contact many other contractors right around October, maybe even in November. In a panic, of course, because the weather's getting cold, the temperature's dropping, snow's in the forecast. Well, guess what? You're too late. Eaves troughs, we usually cut off around mid-September. Takes time to order them, and we're busy. Doors and windows, depending on the home, can take 4 to 6 weeks to arrive. If we're smart and we're booked and we're doing inside kitchens, basements, and bathrooms during the bad weather in the winter, we're not inclined or interested to freeze outside trying to install a window and apply caulking when it's 10, 15 below zero. So please be careful. If you're doing it yourself, you only have to fight the procrastination. If you're hiring a contractor, again, it's about scheduling and it's about timing. Now, as far as Bob's Bewares and top picks, no actual products today, but a lot of common sense. Please always beware of the door-to-door contractor. Beware of the scam artist that comes by and says, we happen to be in the neighborhood, working on another property. Book with us today and there's no tax. You must pay cash. Beware. A top pick, a licensed, reputable contractor. They may happen to leave a flyer or business card in your mailbox. Somebody is a top pick that belongs to the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce or Stony Creek Chamber of Commerce. Somebody that's invested in the community. Again, beware a contractor that says, I'll give you my references after you hire me. That's definitely a beware. Or maybe a smart aleck contractor that will only include 2 names and phone numbers on the reference list. Maybe there's friends and family. A top pick, a contractor that gives you well over 12 references, names, phone numbers, and even addresses where you can visit the property and you can find out what's going on. Now, again, on today's show, we didn't really show you how to fix too much. We spent 3 visits, 3 separate job sites in Hamilton. Big thank you to all the homeowners for allowing us to bring the Cable 14 crew and cameras. The point of this show is that it's also available online. www.justaskbob.com. Again, that's www.justaskbob.com. Season 5, Season 4, 3, 2, and 1. 50 half-hour home improvement shows so you, the viewer, can pause, fast forward, rewind, learn at your own pace. And we're easy to get a hold of. Largest database on the net, www.justaskbob.com. Send us an email, send us the information behind your project or your home's to-do list. Bob's Old School. Pick up the phone, 289-649-0196. Again, that's 289-649-0196. Thank you, Hamilton. Around your home, you need to inspect everything, climb the roof only if you feel safe, and itemize these issues with the Oh, so we'll start again. Okay, we'll kick it off again.